Welcome to Codex, History of Video Games. My name is Tyler Osby.
And I'm Mike Coletta.
And this week, we're not talking about the history of video games at all. We're talking about the history of 2024, which is the most recent year to have been completed by us, the human beings of Earth.
We all 100% completion 2024. Good job, everybody. We did it.
Yep. Great job. So we wanted to talk about some games that we loved this year. Most of them are games that came out this year. Some of them are not games that came out this year. And then maybe we'll talk a little bit about what we're looking forward to. So
yeah, that works. I mean, I tried to pick for my top five, because we each have our own top five. I tried to pick games that I played that came out in 2025, but there's some honorable mentions after the fact, because that's the big part about having a Trello board, by the way, is I could just go through that and be like, oh yeah, a little trip down memory lane. Yep. Nice. Also, I did the thing where I was like, that came out this year, and I forgot. So we're gonna go like back in order. I think I actually made an order because Tyler made an order. So I'm gonna do my fifth one.
Okay.
If we're doing a count.
Yeah, and we compared our lists here, and we were excited to learn that our lists are pretty different, actually.
Pretty different. Yeah. So my now I'm already like not enjoying my list. I'm gonna bring it. I think I'm gonna switch two of them, but I'm gonna do this. So my fifth game, and I only am giving it this low of a ranking because I actually haven't played it that much. I've been meaning to, but I haven't because it came out so late in the year. That is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Yeah, I played a little bit of this too, and it is beautiful.
It's a beautiful game. But I've not even gotten out of the Vatican, which is like the first major area, not the tutorial, because I've been just like walking around taking pictures of cats, which is also why that's on this list. That's why the game's on the list.
You can take pictures of cats.
You can climb up to the rooftops of buildings and take pictures of cats, and I think that's very important. But it's doing something that I think a lot of games don't do well, which is puzzles. Like the puzzles are perfect, as in, I think they're easy enough that anyone can solve them, but they have just enough depth to make you feel like a genius when you solve them.
Yeah,
which is what you want. You want to feel like you're Indiana Jones. And I think they really nail that. There's a puzzle specifically in the Vatican that I did, and I was just like, man, this feels like peak Indiana Jones, like what all of us as kids thought archaeology was like. And that's what I love.
Yeah,
and it really
is
nails
what Ross from Friends does.
Exactly. Well, he's a paleontologist.
Oh, sorry. They probably fight a lot with archaeologists.
They would. Yeah, they would. Yeah, he's a paleontologist.
I'm enjoying the stealth stuff.
That's cool
we don't get very many stealth games. It feels very like one of those where it gives you sort of a playground for you to play in. Like I feel like Metal Gear Solid 5 is a little bit like that too, where it's like, here's the area, figure out how to accomplish the goal. I'm not sure if I've played very little of this, which is why it's not on my list. But so I'm not sure if it's one of those things that feels like there's lots of possibilities, but actually the one that you're sort of guided to is really the only one. The one that makes you feel like a genius is really the only one. So I'm not sure, but it feels like Uncharted, first person Uncharted, but instead of being an action like third person shooter and puzzle solver, it's more of a stealth and puzzle solver.
Yeah,
does that sound accurate?
That sounds right. I think it's been compared a lot to Thief.
Yeah,
and it's also been compared a lot to the Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay that I've never played, but I've heard was like a fantastic Xbox title that everyone liked at the time. So, and now that I'm more of a stealth game connoisseur, thanks to you and Hideo Kojima, I feel
written and directed by Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, gosh, it's driving me crazy. We'll talk about that at the end.
Yeah, that's right. That's Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, we're finally Metal Gear Solid 5, everybody. And I have thoughts. But yeah, so I that's just my number 5. I know for some people it might be their number 1, but I just put it at my number 5 because I don't have as much experience with it, but it really is nailing that feeling, which I think makes it deserve to be on the list. So what about you?
My number 5 is mostly because of just how much time I spent in it, even if I put it down quickly, is Destiny 2, The Final Shape.
Dude, it's not even on my list. Why is it not even?
It was good. Like the campaign was good. It finished the storyline out, this like 10-year long storyline that has been good at times and bad at times. It didn't keep me grabbed afterwards in the seasons, new like seasons format they started doing. And plus it kind of feels like things are sort of falling apart at Bungie right now. And so it doesn't feel like there's a bright future for Destiny 2. So I haven't really been playing it just because it kind of makes me sad now. But
Yeah.
but the final shape was such a good ending. Like they could have just, if they just said this is it, we're not making any more expansions. Destiny is over. That would have been a good way to end it, to be honest. And so I really like it, even though they tried to keep going.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I agree. I very much agree with you. I think they should have just ended it. Just been like, that's the end of the Light and Dark saga. We're sitting on Destiny now. Like, we'll leave everything open. We'll unleash, like, we'll put all the raids out there, so people can just play raids or whatever if they want to.
Yep.
But then just stop with the seasonal content. But realistically, I wonder how much of that money they're really depending on, though. Like, they need that live service income to just be a studio, probably.
Yeah, I think they do, because Marathon is still a ways off.
Yeah. Do they?
As far as
They got
the
Sony
games.
money though.
Yeah, but Sony wanted to turn a profit. Like they're not just
That's true.
doing
They're
it
like,
as
we're
a
not going to
charity.
babysit you. That's what
Yeah.
Sony said. So,
Yeah.
it's weird I didn't put it on my list, but maybe that's telling because I didn't really even think about it as a 2024 game. I don't know
There
why.
was just so many other things, and it kind of, as far as Destiny goes, it was a bit of a flash in the pan, because usually Destiny we're like kind of playing all the time, and this one was like, okay, we played the campaign, we played like maybe 2 or 3 weeks afterwards, half-heartedly, and then just fell off.
Well, the next game on my list is not a flash in the pan, I would say, but it is a game that I'm in the process of playing still, and I haven't beaten yet, and that is Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. That's my number
Ooh,
4.
I have that one on my list as well, so we can both talk about it here, I suppose.
Okay, because my number 4, because I did really enjoy it. I'm having a good time. It's really being brought down because of the other games on my list are games I really, really, really enjoyed. Just spending, because I'm digging the old school Zelda vibe, the top down. It's doing something different. I like that, but it's not that much different. Like you're still. I kind of wish there wasn't the link power. Is that weird?
Yeah, that's the whole game.
No, not the echoes.
Oh, you mean the
Becoming
turning
Link.
into Link to go to
Yeah,
do the like,
I
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of wish
yeah.
it was just the echoes, but I feel like they had to
Oh, yeah.
add the link power in there because otherwise, literally everyone's just fighting your battles for you the whole game.
Yeah, I
That's
that would have
really
been
it.
fun. I wonder if there is a way to play that game if the people do like challenge runs where they like don't use the link power. I can't remember if there are parts where that's like actually required or if it just makes certain things a little bit easier.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I have to use the link power because I accidentally click on it every time I mean to actually use it, like switch echoes.
Yeah.
The big complaint with the game is the one that everyone has, where you have so many echoes by the end that going through that really weird list is terrible. It's a
It's
terrible way
hard.
to select.
Yeah, when it sorts by like most recently used, so like it's
Mhm.
not that much of a problem most of the time, but sometimes you just go scrolling through it, and then once in a while I had to go back and scroll through the whole list just to be like, what are the things that I've forgotten about that I used
Mhm.
to love, and maybe you could help me solve a puzzle here. And there's a lot of like the same ones getting used, like beds. Like you just use beds all the time to like bridge a gap or something, which is fine, but I don't know. Sometimes it feels a little weird.
Yeah, for sure, for
But
sure.
overall, I loved it because it felt like the perfect marriage of this like 2D Zelda style with the art style from Link's Awakening that
So
is
beautiful.
just so good. It's like my favorite Zelda art style, that like plastic toy thing.
That's like
Uh,
on my list of next tattoo art style. Is
ooh,
a Zelda tattoo with that art style, honestly, because I really like that art style.
yeah,
So
me too.
my next video game tattoo might be that.
That's great. Yeah. And then, but it also had the emergent fun or like make your own fun or puzzle solving stuff from Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild with the Echo stuff, but it was contained in a sandbox that felt more classic than new and in a very good way. Like sometimes
Mhm,
I boot up Tears of the Kingdom and I'm just like, whoo, this is just too big. I loved
mhm.
Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom is cool too, but it's just so big that I loved having the like more contained linear adventure of Echoes of Wisdom. So I thought it was
Me
great.
too. I think I like a Zelda that's linear.
Me too.
I like a linear Zelda. I'm
I
gonna
do
say
too.
that.
I think it allows the items to build on each other a lot. Like Ocarina of Time, one of the coolest things about getting new items was that like you knew that you would be using it going forward. But in a game like I think A Link Between Worlds is a really good example of this, where you can do any dungeon in any order, and in fact, you just like rent the item or buy the item from the shop before you go to the dungeon. Is like, okay, none of these dungeons build on top of each other. Then they all have to be completable independent of each other. And I don't think there's actually a lot of value in picking which one you do first. You're going to do them all anyway. So might as well have them build on each other and do them in an order.
Yeah, that feels fun. It feels good to know, like, I got the hook shot. I'm going to the next place. Like, that
Yeah.
feels cool to me. I 100% agree with you there. I have a cat that yelled. Did you hear her? She
No.
did yell. You didn't hear her? Okay.
No, I
She
didn't.
might be outside my door. We'll just give it a second and see. I might have to go rescue her.
Might think you're messing up the podcast and needs to be let back in.
Oh, she just meowed again. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
We're gonna go
All
grab
right.
this.
You
So I
gonna
put
go
the
get her?
wireless headset on. So here we go.
Oh, all right. Okay. This is everybody's gonna get a glimpse into Mike's hallway.
Oh no! Everyone sees
Nope.
the hallway.
No.
Everyone sees the hallway. And she's here. Okay, good job, Delilah. Stay right over there. All right. So, yeah, that. I think Echoes of Wisdom. It's a good game, but it wasn't my favorite. And I'll try to talk about that in a bit. But so, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Persona 3 Reload. And I don't think that's cheating because even though Persona 3 is nearly 20 years old now, Persona 3 Reload is brand new. And it's a great remake of a great game with awesome new features added in. So many quality of life features added in from later Persona games. Lots of new features like the, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's basically like a limit break system where every character has their own like big special ultimate move that wasn't in the original Persona 3. So good. The story still just as good as it was in 2006. And I loved it. And I played the whole thing. And I don't know what more to say about it other than that. If you love Persona 3, this is the best way to play it. If you don't love Persona 3, this isn't going to convince you to love Persona 3.
I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it had a lot more roguelike stuff in there. Like even within the dungeon stuff, the Tartarus dungeons, there were like dungeons within dungeons that were kind of cool. That felt they were a little bit more like randomly generated. I guess the whole thing is kind of randomly generated, but they added a lot of extra things for people who are familiar with Persona 3. There's some extra stuff here. It's not just recreating the same thing.
I watched you play that. It was fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that game's great.
enjoyed
The
it.
only thing that would have made it better is if they had included the female main character from the Persona 3 portable release on PSP, and it's also on PC and Switch and stuff as well, because that changes some of the social links in that game, but they didn't include it in Reload. But they did put out the DLC, Episode Aegis and The Answer, which I haven't played yet because I heard it's bad, story-wise, bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
So, yeah, that's
right.
Persona 3. I don't know what more to say about it. Everybody knows I love Persona.
So I'm going to actually do some serious list recreation here because the more I think about it, the more I'm changing things to what I enjoyed more. And number 3 is this, like, games with friends that make an experience and are fun. And for that, I'm choosing Helldivers 2 as my number
good
3.
choice. I didn't put that on my list at all.
I put it on there because I had a lot of really silly memories with that game where it was, I know it's kind of got a little resurgence right now because they just made the Illuminate faction. They just, a new faction just came
I should
out.
fire it back up.
It's fun. I actually have it downloaded. If you want to play, we could play it together. That'd be fun. I really do like it. It's one of those things too, where you can like really just put the difficulty on low and just kind of get used to the game. And I think that's a fun way to play too. Even when you're playing on like the easy mode, it's still fun. You know, I know some people like are obsessed with playing on like suicide difficulty. I think that's cool if you like it, but I don't need to do that. So I really dug like all of it's got a very basic unlock system that is just like old school video game style, which makes me happy. Where you just need to play the game. The matchmaking is fun. Just being the Starship Troopers game that I never got that I always wanted is great. But I do think it's not deserved to be number 1, but it's still a very good game for that reason of the experiences it creates, like the stories you make with your friends. You know, that emergent storytelling, as they call it, is really fun.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, what little I played of it, I had a good time. Like there wasn't a where I was like, this is bad and I don't want to keep playing. It was just like I just didn't keep doing it because there's too many other games.
Yeah, that's the big crux of it. I think that's why I like single player linear experiences now, because I can move on to the next one. So, and even with Indiana Jones, like now that I know I can go back to other areas and do the side quests, I'm kind of like, I think I'm just going to mob through the story. So that way, if I want to go back and do the other stuff, I can, but otherwise I can just play the story through. So yeah, but and
that one has the advantage of being on Game Pass. So like, hey, if it's no harm, no foul, you know?
Exactly.
If you like it, great. If you don't like it, you put it down. You don't feel like you wasted anything.
Exactly. And that's a fun thing to do too, is just like, I like kind of switching between all these games now. I just like jumping around. I like it. It feels good. So, all right. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is, we already talked about it, Echoes of Wisdom. That's where I put it. Number 3.
Nice. Number
So,
3. All right.
yeah, we need to rehash it. But yeah, great game. Loved it.
Yeah, some people did not like it. Did you know that? It's got some
I,
negative attention, which is
I
like,
believe that because some people, every new Zelda game comes out, there's like a group of people that are like, this is the worst trash Zelda I've ever seen. And you're like, whatever, man.
people, naysayers on the internet, you know?
I don't know. I just don't. I don't care enough to hate on things like that.
That's true.
You know,
That's
if it makes me unhappy, I just leave it behind. I don't need
I
that.
think that's something with getting older too. Like the older I get, the less I care. The more I'm
Yeah.
just like, nah. It's like,
I'm like,
this is not worth arguing about.
yeah, if a game comes out and I don't like it, I'm like, that sucks. That, like, it sucks when you don't like something, but whatever, move on.
There was that D&D game that came out, I want to say last year, the one that was like the 4-person action slasher game that I wanted to be really good, and it wasn't.
Mm.
But instead of freaking out, I was just like, I guess better luck next time. Move on to the next thing.
I guess we're old enough that we've been burned by enough games in that way
man.
that we're just like, I don't know, I guess it's another one. And there's just so many games. There is no shortage of good games to play. And they're all accessible one way or another. So like back in the day, I guess when all you could do was buy a $60 cartridge, and if the game you had was bad, that felt bad. So you were like tried your best to deceive yourself into thinking a bad game was good. And so you would argue with people about it. Now I'm just like, I don't know, move on to the next thing. It's too many games that are free. There's too many games that are dirt cheap. We got 50 years of just good games to play.
You know what I realized? If you have a computer and you just get like Epic Game Store, or you'll get free games all the time. You get free games every month. So you could just play those games if you really wanted to. If you wanted to be really cheap about it, you could do that way. Or you could just go look, like if you sign up for Amazon Prime, they have so many free games they're giving you for Amazon Prime. It's
well, and there's stuff that like is free to play, like you get your Genshin Impacts and like that kind of stuff. Those are like, there's good games in the free to play space that just play them.
I have a controversial opinion, by the way, Tyler, because I got a new phone for Christmas because I needed one desperately. I think but I was running an XR. It was hard. It was a hard life for me. Making videos for this podcast was not easy. So I wanted to, like, because I got 3 free months of Apple Arcade, but then I realized I am just playing these free 2 Pokemon games and Wild Rift, and that's the 3 games I play on phones. And I'm like, I don't need to do anything else. Like, I know it's cool they're giving me that offer, but I'm like, I don't need to pay for Arcade if I only play these 3. Like that's enough to fill the time when I'm waiting in a line or like sitting around waiting for something. That's enough what it's for, I think.
There's some nice stuff on Arcade. What I like about games that are on Arcade is that there's no microtransaction like funniness going on. So when you see a game that is on there, it's just fun, and they're not trying to get you to buy more.
Yeah, maybe I'll probably sign up for it. Just 3 months free. I'll try it out.
Sure.
And then we'll go from there and see what it's like. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So I've been playing
$5 too. So
yeah, I've been playing a lot of that Pokemon trading card game. And once you get past all the annoying microtransaction stuff, there is a fun game inside of there. Now, I wish there wasn't as much annoying microtransaction stuff, but that is what it is, I suppose. So your number 3 was Echoes of Wisdom. My number 2 is a lot of people's number 1.
Yeah, this one kind of, I don't want to say it came out of nowhere, but
yeah, my number 2 is Balatro.
Yeah.
The poker roguelike game. Now, have you played Balatro, Tyler?
A little bit.
I have it for Switch.
And one of our guests was talking about it on the podcast earlier.
Oh, yeah. So I have it for Nintendo Switch, and I bought it on Nintendo Switch and not on mobile phones for a very specific reason. And that is because this is the most addicting game I've ever played, I think.
Yeah, it's on Apple Arcade, baby.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where I'm like, it's crazy how you can just sit and be like, I'm going to play like one more hand. And then you just blink and like an hour has gone by. It is so fun. It's been talked about so much, but the genius of making a game, a roguelike off of poker, which is something that most people already know. So you're kind of like giving them an intro into something that most people are aware of. Like, it's just a great idea for a game, and it's executed amazingly, and it's all one person, which is also nuts.
Yeah, that's great.
The really crazy part. So I highly recommend it. If you're looking for a video game that you're like, I just want a game that's fun and it'll like let me cool off, you can't go wrong with Balatro.
I agree. And don't if the poker stuff scares you off because you're like, I don't like poker, I don't play poker, I don't know anything about it. It's really not a poker game. It's not a game
It's
about
not.
poker at all. It's just the game is just sort of has a poker skin around it. And
Mhm.
like the only knowledge that you would need of poker is like if you know how hands are built in poker. That's pretty much it. Most people know that. If you don't, it's not that hard to look up. But it doesn't have any other poker stuff going on. And
Yeah, it's not,
it
you're not
quickly,
playing
once you
poker.
start doing deck stuff with it and getting different decks, like it becomes like not poker pretty quickly.
Yeah, essentially you're if you've never played the game, you're building poker hands and you get points. But like Tyler said, there's these joker cards that are wild cards that do different things. And there's also these planet cards and these tarot cards. It just branches in, and you're eventually by the end, it's like Tyler says, you're just like you're doing crazy stuff that has nothing to do with poker anymore.
Yeah, it's not a poker game.
Yeah, but it's really fun. So Balatro is my number two. What's your number two?
My number two is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Mm,
Because you know me, I'm a sucker for
you
Persona.
love it.
I'm a sucker for Final Fantasy, and I think Seven Rebirth is one of the best experiences I've had with a Final Fantasy game in a long time. And I include 16 in that. I did like 16. I had a good time with it, but I think Seven, I think Rebirth was so good. Like this, they nailed this like the open world part. They have it kind of has like 3 or 4 distinct open worlds that are actually you find out later they are actually connected. You can go like freely between them once you get one of the vehicles. But it's as you're going through the game, it sort of feels like, oh, they just sectioned off so that they wouldn't have like these like one gigantic open world. They would have like these smaller open worlds. And I'm okay with that. But then you realize they are actually all connected. And then I can't wait for part 3 when you will undoubtedly get the airship and you'll be able to just fly seamlessly to all of them.
That's really
At
cool.
least that's what we're being led to believe. So
There's airships. Spoilers.
yeah, for a 30-year-old game. And Final Fantasy, it's not a spoiler to even say there's airships in it because if there's not, I'm kind of upset. You know?
Yeah, it's like saying there's no chocobos. You get
Right?
upset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be like, that's a bad. I don't want to know that. Yeah, it's great. It comes out on Steam next month. It's on sale right now. I might end up buying it while it's on sale because I really want it, and I'm a sucker for double dipping. But it is fantastic. Like the battle system is great. They build on the battle system from part 1. You get great fan favorite characters start to show up. You get to play as Yuffie, whom I love. The Queen's Blood mini game in it, the card game, is so good. I would play that as a mobile game, just like on its own. I really would. I would play it a lot. It's so fun. And there's some other stuff in there that's really fun. The way they reimagine some of the cutscenes from the original game, where it's just kind of like jerky movement in the original game, where you're like, yeah, okay, I'm supposed to have imagination here. The way I'm thinking of one specific scene with Red 13. I think that Knowers Know, which scene I'm talking about. That's so funny. Anyway, I loved it. I thought it was great. Highly recommend playing that if you haven't yet. And it comes out on Steam soon.
Nice. Nice. I still haven't played that. That might be another one that you watch me play. Maybe. 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 It's exciting.
Yeah.
So, all right. My number one game, and I think it's a good choice. Ooh, good drum roll. Good
Thanks.
job with the drum roll. Is Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. That's
Nice.
my number one game. This is the number 2 because it's just doing something that I think older shooter games did, where it's linear, like there's a mission structure. You don't have all these multi transactions, and they just absolutely nailed the whole atmosphere. Like I want to play this with you because I think you'd really like it, especially because you like Gears of War. We played Gears of War
Yeah.
together, and so it just does some stuff that like the swarm thing is something I've never seen in a video game. That's brand new and that's nuts. Where you see these like hordes of enemies out and you think, oh, that's like a pre-scripted video thing. And it's like, no, they come to you and then those are actually enemies, just thousands of these
Dang.
bugs that are just like running towards you. And you're like, what? And then it's got this like, even if you're not a big like Warhammer 40,000 fan, which I can say I wasn't until I got into these games, was like, I think it was Warhammer, the Left 4 Dead version, the
Vermintide.
not Vermintide, Dark Tide.
Oh,
Dark Tide's the newer one. Yeah.
okay.
Vermintide was the older one, but because they made lots of games that were like that. But Dark Tide was where I got like kind of into it. And then Space Marine is really where like really got into it again. But um, I I just think it's a really fun game if you're into like single player stories. If you're into shooting, it's not even third person shooting because it's not even third person cover shooting. There's no cover really. It's just like you're just a giant tank and you're just walking around
Nice.
and and that feels really fun. And it does the thing where you get your life back by like doing finishers on enemies. So there's like this rhythm that goes to it too. It's really well done. And also some another great time with friends where I'm like playing a game with friends and we're making memories together and like enjoying ourselves. And that's really, I think that's what I like in a multiplayer game now is I'm like, we're making our own stories. We're doing like, remember when this happened? Remember that that's fun to me.
Yeah.
I'm ready for your number one. You want me to draw a
Okay.
moral?
Yes, please. My number one game of 2024 is Astrobot.
Astrobot.
I love Astrobot. There's a reason it won Game of the Year at the Game Awards this year, and it's because it is virtually flawless. It is a beautiful game, runs so smoothly, takes full advantage of all of the cool things the DualSense controller does, and it's just so fun. You can tell that the developers, as they were making this game, were just having so much fun while they were making it, and it is just brilliant. Like just perfect example of like everything comes together wonderfully. And I'm a sucker for a good 3D platformer, especially one in the style of Super Mario 3D World or 3D Land, which is like there's a start and a finish to the level. It's not like a big open world where you like go gather stars or something, which is fun too, like the Mario 64 style. That's also fun. But I really love Super Mario 3D World and like get to the end. And that's what Astrobot is. And every level has a weird gimmick to it, and they're all fun. And the bots that you collect, they're kind of like the stars in like a Mario game. They're all, not all of them, many of them are themed after like classic PlayStation franchises. So you get to like find a bot that has like Joel's beard from The Last of Us or something like that, and you're like, it's that guy. Which is really, really fun. So I love it. I don't know if they'll ever bring it to PC. It feels like maybe they wouldn't, but they are also bringing a lot of games that are previously like PlayStation exclusives to PC. So, but that is a game that is, I mean, if you love this style of game, that's a game that's worth buying a PlayStation 5 for. Also, I will say, if you have a PlayStation 5 and you're not sure about Astrobot, I don't know if I will like this game. Download Astrobot's Playroom, which is probably already on your PS5 because it comes free with all of them. Play that. The game is that, but bigger. And it's so fun. So, highly recommend.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard a lot about Astrobot. I don't have a PS5 though, but I've heard it's really good. And it won Game of the Year.
It did win Game of the Year.
There you go. Well, do you want to do some honorable mentions?
Yeah, I want to do some honorable mentions that are like I'm going to talk about games that I played this year that probably didn't come out this year necessarily.
Okay, I have some too. I just off the dome, I'm going for it.
Okay.
So you want me to go first? Or you want to go
Yes.
first? All right, I'll go first. So my off the dome games I loved but haven't didn't make the list. First was, speaking of Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun. That was really fun. That was on Game Pass. Yeah, Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun is like, and I think this might actually, hold on, let me check. It might have come out in 2023 because it's 2023. Darn. But I did play it this year because it went on Game Pass this year. So that's fine. And it was a fun time. It's like a boomer shooter, like old style Doom.
Oh.
And it's cool. It's a neat game.
It's called Bolt Gun.
It's called, Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun is what it's called. And it's a good time. There is also another game that might be on your honorable mentions though. So I'm not going to say anything because I don't know if it's on your honorable mentions or not. Is that all of your honorable mentions there below? You don't have any secrets?
Yeah, I don't have any secrets.
This is one that I think you're going to be upset that you missed.
Probably right.
Do you want me to say it?
Yes.
Super Mario Wonder.
Oh, that was this year?
That was this year. I'm pretty sure Wonder was this year, dude.
Wow. Right? I didn't finish it. I got really close. I'm like at the end.
I'm pretty sure Super Mario Wonder. No, it was 2023 again.
Okay.
God, October 2023. What,
so late.
Oh man, I'm late to it.
I need to finish it because I'm like there's like 8 worlds and I'm on like the last part of World 7 or something.
This is for sure. I for sure thought this was 2024, but the reality is I got it for Christmas this year, so that's why. And Katie and I've been playing it, and it's really fun. The Piranha Plant musical is up there with it, one of the top gaming moments of my time. I mean, I love it. So sorry, 2 of my honorable mentions weren't even 2024, but I played them this year. So there's
Yeah,
that.
that's fine. I'm okay with making the criteria being I played them this year, not
Okay.
came out this year.
In that case, then all of Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
That's a good time. What
Yeah.
about what's yours honorable mentions? I want to hear them all.
Honorable mentions, all of them. I don't think any of them came out this year. I'll start with Mario RPG, the remake on Switch. Loved it. I talked about it a bunch on this podcast already, but I really liked it. I thought it was like kind of a perfect remake of that game. Um, I did love Persona Tactica, which I finished. Persona 5 Tactica, which I finished early this year, like early in January, I think. So it still counts. A great tactical RPG that has nothing but battles. So it's just go from one battle to the next battle, which I really appreciated just how streamlined it was, because then it meant that all like 25 or 30 hours of the game were just doing tactical RPG battles with my friends from Persona 5. And I've played that game for so many hundreds of hours that they are all my friends.
There is real life friends. You
Yep,
cannot question it.
that's right.
IRL
Yep.
friends for Tyler.
Yeah, and then I don't know. Should I keep going, or are we going back and forth?
Yeah, keep going. I mean, I did
Okay.
mine
Okay.
all at once because I
So
was wrong because I thought it was Super Mario Wonder. It was
yeah,
2024.
the last one for me is the original Paper Mario. Slept on
Ooh.
this one 25 years ago or whatever. Never got into it. Really, really enjoyed playing it this year. It's so fun, and I've got the Thousand Year Door I just bought, the remake of that, so I'm gonna play that at some point. But first, I got to get through Indiana Jones, and I do need to play Metaphor ReFantazio. That's a game that would probably be on my list, is
Yes.
Metaphor, but I haven't played it at all, so
That
I
game,
couldn't put it on my list.
that's a glaring miss from our list. I'm sure people have been yelling it at us while they're listening to this, but that's we know that game is good. We've heard it's good. I just
Yeah,
haven't played it.
then play it.
Again, the time to commit to a JRPG is a lot, and I don't
And it's
really
a
have that.
Persona JRPG. I mean,
Mhm.
it's 90, 100 hours easy.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna be long. So, but well, let's talk about the games we're looking forward to, though, and I'll let you go first.
okay, I've just got a few that I'm truly looking forward to. There's a lot of stuff that like sounds cool that I will be that I'm sure I will play. But the first one on my list, I think we're both looking forward to, is Civilization 7.
Yeah, that's on my
Just
list
because
too.
love a Civ game, I do.
Hmm.
I
I'm
spent
gonna
the
buy
most
it.
time with Civ 5.
I think I'm gonna buy it straight up day one. I'm gonna try
Yeah,
to. I'm gonna play it day one because I haven't played a Civ game in so long. Day one, and I'm like, I just want to experience it all.
yeah, yep. I love all the Civilization games. Spent the most with Civ 5, most time with
Me
Civ
too.
5, but 6 is good. I've spent a lot of time on 4 as well.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, very excited for that. The next game that I'm excited for, that I think is still set for a 2025 release, but I don't know if they've gotten any more specific about it, is Claire Obscura Expedition 33, which looks like
Oh.
it's a JRPG uh, turn-based thing, but it's like modern technology. I mean, it's a brand new JRPG, which we don't get a whole lot of these days, except for like Metaphor. And it looks cool. I don't know what to say more beyond it, other than it just looks cool. Looks like it has a cool story, and I love a good JRPG. So I'm excited for that. And then the last one that I'm excited for is South of Midnight, which looks like a fun adventure game. That
Yeah.
is just, it looks like it's just covered in like I don't even know what to say. Like, it's just an aesthetic. Like, it just looks like the people who made this really love
Hmm.
the style that they've done it in. So yeah, looks really, really fun. Really excited for it. What about you,
I
man?
wrote. Oh, I rolled my eyes at South of Midnight because I forgot South of Midnight, and that looks really cool. The
Yeah, the
demo that I
gameplay.
watched was really cool with a giant alligator.
Yeah,
It
the
looked
one that
really
they
cool.
showed
Yeah,
earlier this year. Yeah. So
looks
I
really cool.
think that's still set for this year. Same with Expedition 33. I think those are still set for this year, but I'm not sure if they've been more specific. So they might get pushed. Who knows?
So I have Civilization 7 on my list, which you've already covered. And then I also have Avowed. Those are my two that are like confirmed for 2025. Avowed is that Obsidian medieval
Mm,
RPG. I'm gonna say medieval because it's like it seems like it's got some Outer Worlds vibes to it,
yeah. Which
but
they are
it's
also making Outer Worlds too.
which they're making Outer Worlds, which I'm not really excited for. Again, Outer Worlds 1, I enjoyed it, but I was like, it didn't really grab me as
Yeah.
hard as like other games have. But the two also that are on my list that are kind of like these are questionable if they come out with 2025 is Fable, whatever this
Hmm.
new Fable game is.
Looks
a-
cool.
And then also Grand Theft Auto 6, because the rumor mill is it's going to come out, but again, it's very iffy.
I don't
I
think
would
so.
say maybe like it's probably a 2026, if not 2027 game. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna say Grand Theft Auto 6 to like wish it into the universe, but I don't think it's gonna come out. So
Yeah. We'll see. Are there any games that you want that you like are feeling like there's going to be an announcement this year? They may not come out this year, but there's going to be an announcement.
I
Because I'm
think
thinking
oh
Half-Life 3 is the
two
rumor right now.
I just forgot two big games that are 2025 when you said that. Doom the Dark Ages.
Oh yeah.
Doom the Dark Ages, and then what was the other one? There's one more coming out that's going to be on Game Pass, and now it's gone. It's out of my brain forever.
I'm googling games that come out in 2025. Games that
Yeah,
come out in
I'm
2025.
really, really excited for Doom the Dark Ages, though. Like you've seen the trailer for that, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that
Oh,
looks awesome.
another one that was on there is I think it comes out this year. Slay the Spire 2 comes out this year.
Oh yeah.
And I never really played a lot of Slay the Spire 1, but I was like, I think I might jump into 2 when it like comes out new. Because
Yeah.
it's really a cool idea for a game and
I
really
like the
fun.
first one. It's on Apple Arcade also. I liked it.
Oh,
It's good, a good plane game. Like I played it on a plane and had a lot of fun with it.
that's nice. Oh, and you know what? I don't know if this is if this is going to be a 2025, but there is that's the other one too. E-Day, Gears of War
Oh,
E-Day.
Gears of War. Yeah.
Because that's 2025, I'm pretty
It
sure.
is? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Gears of War E-Day is 2025. And also, I'm excited for the new Witcher game. I don't know if it's going to be 2025, though. So there's that. They just showed
I
the
think that's
trailer
probably a
for
ways
that. It's
away.
probably like 2026. But games, I agree with you about Half-Life 3. I think there's going to be an announcement about something in the Half-Life universe
I hope
in
so.
2025. I hope so. Because the rumor mill was they were going to do it during the Game Awards. And I was like, I don't know. That seems dicey.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've been talking about it a lot, especially with that Half-Life 2 documentary that came out.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of people talking and like speculating now that they're talking about it. They're like, maybe they're like kind of trying to like hint.
Yeah. They're
But
trying to spin up the hype machine a little bit around
Mhm.
Half-Life. Not that they need to, obviously, but
I think go ahead.
I have another one to add to games that I'm excited for next year.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Split Fiction.
Oh,
That's the
I
one
think I've heard
from
this one.
from the people that made It Takes Two and A Way Out.
Yeah.
And it looks like another one of those. And I'm like, oh, It Takes Two is, I mean, it was Game of the Year a couple of years ago. It's fantastic. Loved that game. Split Fiction looks like it's gonna be sort of the same vibe, at least gameplay wise of like being a co-op only game. And the storyline sounds like really clever and really, really intriguing. So I'm excited for that. And that's gonna be good. And that's looks like that's supposed to be coming out in March-ish, according to Wikipedia.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad we got those last ones in there because I can't believe I forgot about Doom the Dark Ages. I'm actually really stoked about that. And I want to play E-Day with you because I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Just play that co-op. So other game though that I think they're gonna announce or do something with this year. And I don't know if it's gonna actually happen, but I'm just kind of willing it to be so. Is Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh, I don't think so.
You don't think they're gonna make an announcement?
Oh, announcement. Yeah. We might see an announcement.
Like an announcement or something, like in maybe like
Yeah.
an E3 like teaser trailer or something. Like that's what I'm
Yeah.
not E3, but like like a Game Awards or something. I think it would be latter half of 2025 for sure. I think they would do like something.
Because the Starfield hype has sort of died down and they need to be building hype for their next thing. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
I'm worried though, because, and I've talked about this before. I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast, but I'm worried that the style of RPG that Bethesda has made is not as popular as it used to be. And because I feel like Starfield kind of put a bad taste in everyone's mouth because it was that same style. Now I agree it doesn't work with space. We all know that now, but they're going to have to do a lot in Elder Scrolls 6 to make people really be like, wow, because Skyrim was just breathtaking. So it's like, they got big shoes to fill, but I hope they can. So what have you been playing this week? Have you been playing any games this week?
This week, what have I been playing? I've been watching my partner play a lot of Hogwarts Legacy, which looks very fun.
How quickly did they Avada Kedavra somebody? Was it just like instantaneous? Like right when they boot up the game, they just murdered them?
Haven't done that yet, as far as I know.
Really? Yeah, can you do that in the game? Can you Avada Kedavra?
It's a good question.
It's Avada Kedavra, right? That's what you say?
Avada Kedavra.
Avada Kedavra.
Yeah, that's the
I
killing
almost
one.
said, is it supposed to sound almost like abracadabra? Was that
Yeah,
intentional?
mixed in with like cadaver because you're making a dead
Yeah,
body, I guess.
that's
I
funny.
think
Yeah.
so.
That almost feels like it was a filler name, and then they just went with it.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't
I don't
know.
know how they
I think
decide
you
those things.
can kill people in that game. You can learn the killing curse and kill people, I think.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm just
Well, it's been fun so far.
what's
And
Broomin' like? Brooming around.
it's looks really fun. Like
It
she's just been flying around everywhere.
and it looks good too. It looks like neat because it's like old school
Yeah,
Hogwarts, right? I don't know
yeah.
much about it. I've never
Takes place in
played it.
1890.
Oh, that's a great year,
Yeah, because in the 90s,
you
the
know,
old 90s.
yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty fun. What else? I feel like there's something else. I finished Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, the one where Kevin Spacey is uh big
the
boss.
foreshadowing of Kevin Spacey being a bad guy. You can say that.
Yeah, no, well, I was gonna say that game is very Metal Gear. I mean, with the
Oh,
PMC Atlas Corporation that Kevin Spacey runs, it's outer heaven basically, an army without a country. It's Kevin Spacey himself is like sort of sees himself as this like godlike figure in Metal Gear. You know, we sort of identify with the hero, and so we think that he's doing the right thing, but obviously he's the bad guy. Kevin Spacey's the bad guy in this game. So he's doing the wrong thing, of course. But he's like, I'm going to stop all wars by basically being the biggest war thing ever. So it was very Metal Gear adjacent, which I appreciated. And it was fun. Look, it still looks good. Like graphics hold up pretty well today. And yeah, I don't know. It's Call of
nice.
Duty. That's it.
Hey,
That's kind of what
that's
I've
the one
been
with
spending
Marshawn
time on.
Lynch too. Marshawn Lynch is in that one also.
Oh, he is? Oh, I
I
missed
think
that.
so. Yeah. I can I'm gonna talk about what I've been playing, but then I want to make a little announcement because I've been
Ooh,
working on something for this.
yeah.
So I've been playing more Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I'm playing
Hmm.
that. I've actually been playing a lot of Red Dead Online, Red Dead Redemption Online. I've been playing that with our friends. That's really fun. It's strikingly like it's surprisingly like a good vibe to hang out in. It's almost
Hmm.
like more of a social thing now. It almost feels like like VR chat and how people like to
Yeah.
chat. It feels like that. Like we're just gonna do cowboy stuff while we hang out. That's kind of what we're doing. It's really fun. I like it a lot. Sad that they're really only making like events for it now. They're not really going to make any more content for it. Rockstar's
Yeah.
kind of like, it still makes us money, but we're not going to like make a new expansion or anything. But I have a fun, weird fact about a movie star in a video game, and that is our friend of the podcast, Patrick Stewart, Jean-Luc Picard himself. Did you
Hmm.
know he was a voice actor in a D&D game at one point?
I did not know that.
Yeah, which leads me into the next topic. I think I'm going to do D&D games. I think
Okay.
we're going to do it. It's going to be I don't know
I-
if it's going to be a long series or if I'm just going to do it in parts and like jump around, but I might do it by game series
I'd
instead
be
of
down to do some
chronological.
co-op stuff. I know games like Neverwinter Nights or like Baldur's
Mhm.
Gate
We could do
originals have
that.
co-op. So I would be down to do some of that.
Okay, we could do that. But like I was looking, it is so expansive of a library that I think doing it in chronological order is a mistake.
I think
So
so
I
too.
think what
There's
I'm going
probably
to
a lot of
do,
not fun games too, especially older
yes,
ones.
I think we'll cover the not fun games in like weird episodes, or we maybe talk about we might even just call them D&D games that no one liked or something like that, part one.
Or that we
But
didn't want to put 300 hours into
yes,
to get to the
but
good part.
there are series like, for example, Dark Alliance, which is what got me into the D&D games. Like 1 and 2 are both really fun and they're co-op games and we can play those together. So I think that's something that we're going to jump into in 2025. I just wanted to put that out in the universe so that way everyone knows I'm working on it. But it's going to take a long time because
All right.
it's a lot. It's a lot of games. We also said we do Minecraft too. I said that I'm making all sorts of promises and mistakes. I'm gonna try though. I'm gonna try. So
I believe in you.
is there a series you want to cover in 2025?
I want to keep going on the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, like RPG games stuff,
Yeah.
because there's the Mario and Luigi series and the Paper Mario series. And I did finish Mario and Luigi. That's the other game that I played. I finished Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga on the 3DS.
Nice.
Beat that last boss. That game is the Dark Souls of JRPGs. It's like the way you have to know your enemies' moves so that you can dodge them. Like it level grinding doesn't help that much in that game because you still need to dodge their moves. You still need to like understand what they're doing and hit your buttons at the right time because they hurt real bad if you mess up.
It's
And
like it's like when we're playing League of Legends and we joke, "Oh, I didn't buy any resistances. I'm just gonna dodge it. I'm just gonna dodge it. It's fine.
yeah,
I'll just dodge it."
I'll just dodge it. Yeah, but that is, you can actually do that in Mario and Luigi. But it's all, every enemy has like a different move set, and so you need to know what the tells are of like what they're gonna do this move and which brother they're targeting. Like when their eye looks this way, they're targeting one brother, and looks that way, they're targeting the other brother. That kind of stuff. So
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. I think we should. Yeah, that'd be fun to cover. I What was I gonna say? You mentioned something that I wanted to cover, but it's gone now. It's gone. Sometimes that's the way it is. We'll bring it up later. It's fine. We've kind of hit our time though. I feel pretty good. I feel like this is a strong opening to 2025.
yeah,
Some opinions, some good video game talk in general. Let us know what your favorite games were of 2024 by sending us an email to codexhistorypodcast@gmail.com or going to codexpodcast.net and using our contact form or joining our Discord. Just let us know. We'll read it on the show. It's fun for us to do. And with that, I think that's going to do it for the day. Tyler, do you want to say goodbye to our audience?
yes. Goodbye to our audience.